Fed's worst nightmare just got worse. Inflation is running hotter than ever. The debt spiral is accelerating, and the dominoes are falling exactly as predicted. The latest data, CPI just surged. Core inflation rose instead of falling, and the market is finally realizing the rate cut dreams were just that, dreams. Everything happening right now confirms what Michael Saylor has been saying all along. Bitcoin is headed to $13 million. We've got a huge show today breaking down the inflation mess, why the Fed is trapped, and how the economic insanity only makes the Bitcoin case stronger. And of course, we're going to get into the massively bullish news for Bitcoin, including state-level Bitcoin reserves, major ETF accumulations, and the wild supply shock that is brewing as we speak. Do you think taxation isn't theft? Well, think again, because the government is robbing you blind, and Bitcoin is the ultimate escape. We have a lot to get to today. Send it!
Give me an example of something you can own $100 million of, where you can take personal custody of it and where you can actually move it anywhere on earth, and where even if I hold a gun to your head, I can't take it from you. And the only thing we've ever figured out that you can do that with is Bitcoin. And so Bitcoin is like, it keeps everybody honest. The optionality to do this means that all you got to do is find one bank in Singapore that'll treat you better than the bank in New York or London or Tokyo. And then you can move it in a half an hour for $5. And what happens next? The bank in New York thinks, well, I guess we can't screw these guys over, because they'll just move it to Singapore. And the guys in California say, well, I can't just tax all the Bitcoin in California. It'll move to Wyoming. It'll move to Singapore. It'll move to Malta. And at the end of the day, you can tell everybody to go fuck themselves. You can put it in your head, memorize the freaking key, right? And it's here. And then, the classic Bitcoiner response is, oh, yeah, my Bitcoin, I lost it in a boating accident. You ever heard that phrase? It's kind of a trope, but what it means is, at the end of the day, if you push me too far, I lost it. It's gone. Sorry.
That's it. You're right.
Tax that.
All right, let's start with the nightmare scenario for the Fed. The inflation report just dropped, and it's the hottest we've seen since 2023. Here's the data. CPI inflation jumped 0.5% in 1 month, the biggest spike since August 2023. Core CPI, which the Fed swears is more important, was supposed to drop to 3.1, but instead rose to 3.3. Inflation expectations skyrocketing. U.S. consumers now expect 4.3% inflation over the next year, the highest since November 2023. And here's the really scary part. This isn't even the worst of it yet. The 20% plus trade war taxes, those haven't even hit the numbers yet. Meanwhile, the 10-year Treasury yield just blew past 4.6%, marking a massive move in the bond market. Translation: the market is realizing that inflation is not going away, and rate cuts, forget it. Orange Man will not be pleased. The market now expects only one rate cut in October of 2025. After that, the next one isn't until 2026. We might just be locked into high rates for years. Oh, you're concerned, Jerome. You're concerned. That's real cute. Jerome's concerned, everyone. The U.S. government is running a 6.4% deficit in 2024. That is the highest outside of a major war or crisis. And here's the reality. The Fed can't fight inflation and keep the government solvent. They're backed into a corner. So what do? They print. They steal from your savings, your wages, and your future. And it gets worse. Breaking! The U.S. is now spending nearly $100 billion a month on just interest payments. Not sustainable. And that's why Bitcoin exists. While the government burns down its own currency, let's talk about the asset that can't be printed into oblivion. Bitcoin. And folks, the bullish news? Off the charts! Check this out. Texas is removing the buying limit on its Bitcoin strategic reserve. They could hypothetically allocate unlimited funds to Bitcoin. Godspeed, Texas! And now 29 states have proposed Bitcoin-related bills. The U.S. is turning orange. Metaplanet just raised 4 billion Japanese yuan in 0% bonds to buy more Bitcoin. Let me repeat that. 0% bonds, free money to stack sats. Bitcoin ETFs have now bought 2.7x more Bitcoin than has been mined in 2025. Do the math. The incoming supply shock is going to melt everyone's faces. Read them and weep. OTC Bitcoin balances have dropped from 480,000 Bitcoin to just 146,000 Bitcoin today. That's a 70% drop. That tells you the big players are draining the market. And here's the moment we've been waiting for. A foreboding sign of what's to come from the legend Michael Saylor himself. But before we bring it home today, look at our likes!
Three or four times, maybe.
I gotta pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
Hey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and give us a pamp while we take a moment to recognize our sponsors, the masters of Bitcoin sovereignty, the Bitcoin way. You're looking to learn how to Bitcoin, how to properly secure your Bitcoin? You might want to head on over to the newly revamped Bitcoin Way website where you can begin your road to Bitcoin sovereignty today. If you're looking to schedule a free 30-minute consultation, go ahead and use that link below in the show notes.
Bitcoin's 0.1% of the capital in the world right now. I think it's going to go to 7% of the capital.
7%.
My long-term forecast is it's going to go to
700.
13 million over 21 years.
13 million.
13 million, but what is it 5 years from now? You're in your 4-year calculus.
You know, it's been growing 44% a year with about a 40 to 50 vol. I would think it'll move on at 40%, then click down to 35, then 30, then 25, and at some point it'll be the S&P return plus 8%, and it'll be the S&P vol plus 8% because it's always going to be a more global, open, free capital market.
How is there stuff that's above your pay grade? You're worth billions. I mean, we can say that. That is above our pay grade, but who gets to decide if it's above your pay grade?
He might have been it's below his pay grade.
Right, exactly.
Bitcoin's an expression in this view that you want to invest in an asset without counterparty risk, which means you don't want to be counterparty to a country, a currency, a city, a company, a commodity, or a culture, right? So people think it's a risky thing. It's all about people wanting to not take risk. They don't want to guess whether Picasso's or real estate in New York or NVIDIA stock will be higher in 10 years. They want to buy money. They want to buy 1/21 millionth of all the money in the world forever.
You know, when Saylor first said that, people called him crazy. But here we are with inflation ripping, debt exploding, and a global race for scarce assets. Suddenly, $13 million Bitcoin doesn't sound so crazy anymore, does it? Now let's talk about something they really don't want us talking or thinking about. Why taxation is theft. For years, since 1913, they've told us taxes are the price we pay for a civilized society. Look around, does it look civilized to you? The U.S. government just admitted to $280 billion in annual improper payments, but the real number is probably closer to $1 trillion. $20 billion in secret EPA slush funds sent to NGOs. Government waste is at an industrial level of sheer fuckery. What the hell is going on here? Meanwhile, they seized $5 billion in ASIC miners at ports of entry to stop Bitcoin mining. What is going on with that? Orange Man, can we fix this? Taxes. You don't get a choice, but if you don't pay, you're a criminal. That's not a voluntary system. That is extortion. And that's why Bitcoin is the escape hatch. No forced confiscation, no arbitrary rules, no permission needed. Just 21 million hard-capped, non-confiscatable units of freedom. So where does this leave us? The Fed is trapped. They can't stop inflation, and they can't let rates rise too much without triggering a total collapse. The government is stealing from you at historic levels, and Bitcoin is proving itself as the only exit ramp. And as all this plays out, one number just keeps making more sense. $13 million Bitcoin. The suddenly moment is coming, and when it does, even the Bitcoin maxis are going to be absolutely shocked. Their eyes might bleed. Remember, the great repricing is coming. Roll it.
And you've been in the press talking about $1 million Bitcoin. That's your projection or prediction. Can you elaborate on that? What's up with that prediction?
Yeah, so I believe Bitcoin is severely undervalued right now. Even anywhere sub 100K is just a very rare anomaly. We should have been far higher than 100,000 right now, but I believe we're on track to 1 million. The ETFs have been an enormous influx of capital into Bitcoin, but that has been muted by the unwinding of GBTC or grayscale Bitcoin. So I think my prediction was earlier this year that the ETFs would send us there. I still believe that that will be the case, but it has been muted because of the unwinding of all the drama, I guess, that is largely held over from FTX until now. So we're getting to the point where we should be going parabolic very soon.
Is there a particular reason or catalyst that will send it parabolic?
Well, there's a number of reasons. Like, first of all, you can look at the macroeconomic landscape and the massive accumulation of debt in the U.S. Interest payments are getting to $1 trillion a year. And I don't think most people realize, but these are astronomical numbers and these are absolutely unsustainable. So either there's going to be a debt jubilee or the US dollar has to rebase to Bitcoin. So, one Satoshi, there's 100 million Satoshis in a Bitcoin, and you could reprice the US dollar to one Satoshi equals $1.
Why would the US dollar have to reprice to Bitcoin?
Well, I mean, there's no way to pay the debt off, right? And debt is far higher than GDP. Yeah. So something has to give. Either there's a debt jubilee all around, or you have to reprice or rebase to a harder asset. And it's difficult at this time to imagine the creation of a new dollar. Like you have that in many countries, when the fiat currency fails, you just make a new one and you lop off some zeros. But with the advent of Bitcoin, it's no longer possible because people they have an option now. They have a choice to go to Bitcoin or to accept a new fiat. And I just don't believe that will be the case. Therefore, it is inevitable that we do rebase to Bitcoin eventually. The question is when. But I believe $1 to one Satoshi is a fair rebase plan.
That's not all that's coming. The biggest Bitcoin mining conference on the planet, Mining Disrupt 2025, is just around the corner. The biggest Bitcoin mining conference on the planet, and it's coming to Fort Lauderdale, March 25th through the 27th. Get your tickets today and join thousands of Bitcoin mining professionals and enthusiasts from around the globe for an electrifying experience at Mining Disrupt. See the latest cutting-edge hardware, products, and services that are revolutionizing the Bitcoin mining industry. For over half a decade, Mining Disrupt has been the premier conference and expo exclusively dedicated to Bitcoin mining. Be part of the future and join the movement that's shaping the world of Bitcoin mining. Don't miss out. Head over to miningdisrupt.com and get your tickets today. Use promo code SimplyBitcoin for 20% off. Oh, and the Simply Bitcoin news desk gonna be on site. I'm gonna be there. Nico and Opti are gonna be there holding it down, and we hope to see you there as well. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and set those notifications to get the best in Bitcoin news delivered to you daily. Give us a pamp and spread the sound money gospel. Share this video with one of those poor degenerates saving in fiat. Nico's got an interview with Samson Mao on top of a fucking volcano coming to you Saturday, so stay tuned. And we got bangers from Dante coming your way, so stay tuned for Bitcoin Simply and so much more content coming your way. I'll catch you all next week. Love you. Peace.
If you prefer to go down with the ship, you.